Fred Richani, TSC, your home for WWE 2K news updates, reviews, and everything in between. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm here to go through the entire WWE 2K Battlegrounds roster at launch. This game just came out. It's available for every major platform right now, although technically not for PS5 and Xbox Series X. Let's dive in. We have Aleister Black, who doesn't have the eye patch, and I guess he no longer has the eye patch in WWE. That's kind of fun. You get 3 different variations, and of course, you get to unlock all these attires over the course of the game. You have time to play the game. Triple H, you'll notice here when you highlight each one of these guys, a lot of them kind of have the same animation. A little annoying. It's the same thing with the entrances a little bit. Some of them do tend to get a little repetitive, but you see, you got old school, long-haired Triple H right there. You have The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, who is not really posing like The Fiend. He's posing more as like Bray Wyatt from the Firefly Funhouse. And there you go. You got Bray Wyatt from the Firefly Funhouse. Flexing, yeah. There you go there. And then you have Bray Wyatt from a couple years ago when he teamed up with Matt Hardy. You have The Undertaker, and Undertaker also not posing like you would expect The Undertaker to pose. You have the old school Undertaker here who's also posing, and then you have the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker. Well, variation anyway. You have Akira Tozawa. You have yokozuna, the legendary ex-WWE champion. Rest in peace. One of the greatest big men of all time. He's got the white tights. He's got the white and red tights. Dolph Ziggler, the 2-time WWE World Champion as expected. He's been in like a dozen games or so. Good for him. He's got the pink tights there, and he's got the tights with the cool-looking vest. And then you have, well, it's the Big Show. He's flexing. He's mean-mugging. You got the Big Show with the American tights and then the black and gray. Kind of surprised they don't have the old-school Big Show Paul White. Robert Roode, remember him? Where the hell's he been? You have Kofi Kingston. It's a new day. Yes, it is. Looking good with those tights. He's got the red and yellow here as well. Iron Man style. And then you have the traditional New Day powder blue tights. You have the Legend Killer, Randy Orton, flexing, mean mugging. You have the gray tights as well. No old school Randy Orton, though. I'm kind of surprised here. You have the cool Randy Orton with the vest, but nothing with the classic Randy Orton. And then you have Roman Reigns, and this is interesting. So you have Roman Reigns right here with the vest. You have the one with the Roman Empire shirt. And then get a load of this. You have Roman Reigns in tights from NXT, which I don't think a lot of people saw, so that's pretty interesting. You have, of course, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Mysterio Jr., Charlotte Flair, and then you have Liv Morgan. This is what I don't get. So they have Liv Morgan's current entrance music, but Liv Morgan's in Ruby Riot Squad gear. Like, this isn't even her current Riot Squad gear. Makes no sense to me. I mean, still looks cool, but it looks like Liv from a couple of years ago, not from this past year. You have Mandy Rose, who kind of looks like Mandy Rose a little bit. At least she's got the authentic tights that she's been wearing. So there you go, the Golden Goddess tights right there. And then we're going to move on to the veteran Natalya, the former women's champion. You have Stephanie McMahon, who's in her wrestling gear, and then dressed, of course, in her position in the executive role. And then you have Nikki Bella, who just had a beautiful baby. Congratulations to her and Artem. You have Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon, the WWE Hall of Famer. And you have Ricochet, who looks a lot happier here than he does in WWE TV. Times are rough for our buddy Ricochet, the former United States champion and NXT North American champion. Remember that? You have the DLC Edge, Adam Edge Copeland, one of the youngest Hall of Famers of all time. Looking good here. I like it. This is one of the better character models I have seen. We actually just uploaded his entrance if you guys want to check that out on this YouTube channel. You got Ronda Rousey. Boy, I miss her. She was one of the best rookies in wrestling history. You have The Rock, speaking of guys who were real young back in the day and took to wrestling pretty quickly. You got his jacked self. You got the tank top there. And then we have the old school Rock with the sideburns. I like that. There you go. That's the Rock I grew up on. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Again, when you highlight these guys, it looks so wacky to see Stone Cold doing these types of poses, you know, waving and his fingers like Rob Van Dam. That's just wacky. But hey, you know, this game's supposed to be wacky. You have Big E. It's a new day. Yes, it is. Elias. No guitar in hand, though, at least not when you highlight him here. Of course, who could forget the legendary Andre the Giant, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in terms of attractions. This dude's got the half tights, the singlet. Yeah, Finn Balor right here, but a bit of a surprise because while you do have multiple Finn Balor attires, at least initially, you don't have the Demon. And historically, that's been one of the big attractions with selecting Finn Balor in WWE Games. But, this isn't a normal WWE game. You have the Beast, Brock Lesnar. And, hey, he needs no introduction right there. You got the phenomenal AJ Styles, the Grand Slam champion. You've got Jeff Hardy, the current Intercontinental champion as well. You have Cesaro, one of the greatest WWE superstars to never win a world title. You have the Yes Man, Daniel frickin' Bryan. You have Drew McIntyre, the current WWE champion. You have Kalisto here. You have Kevin Owens. This is a surprise. You have Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. So even though WWE technically screwed Gallows and Anderson out of these $1 million deals because they had an out clause and released them, now they're with Impact. I guess they'll be getting some money from this video game. So hopefully for their sake, it's a nice check, although it won't make up for the money they lost. You have The Miz, Mike Mizanin, Eric Rowan, who's no longer with the company as well. But hey, he's here. So hopefully he'll get that video game money. He's got the flannel. He's got the weird singlet bodysuit thing. So there you go. The Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Seth freaking Rollins. He's got the Burn It Down tights. He's got the Monday Night Messiah tights, which are also kind of like his SummerSlam 2015 gear. And then you have the traditional Seth Rollins before he became an annoying heel. You have Xavier Woods, Sergeant Slaughter. You got Shawn Michaels. You got the showstopper Shawn Michaels right there. You have the Heartbreak Kid. You have the Legend version. And then you have Jake the Snake Roberts. And ironically enough, he's currently with AEW. But hey, I guess WWE has the rights to use his likeness. So that's cool. You have Mankind, a.k.a. Mick Foley. Old school Mankind gear as well. You have the problematic but legendary Hulk Hogan. He's got the traditional red and yellow tights. You have the Hollywood Hogan gear right there. And you have the red and yellow from his comeback in 2002. You have Carmella and Alicia Fox. Wow, Alicia Fox, we have not seen her in a while. I think she's technically retired. But hey, if you're an Alicia Fox fan, there you go. You have Asuka, who's been absolutely dominant in WWE over the last couple of years. Speaking of dominant, you have Bayley, the golden role model. I am just so sad that Sasha Banks and Bayley broke up. Oh, man, you have old school Bayley as well. They were the best part of WWE, and they're gone. But yeah, you get 4 variations of Bayley, so that's cool. But I still miss the Boston Hug connection. You have the man, Becky Lynch, who is getting ready to give birth to a new baby, so good for her. You have Mickie James, the legend. You have Naomi, the former SmackDown Women's Champion. Hashtag Naomi deserves better. Nia Jax, the boss, Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks should get a higher rating. Sasha Banks is one of the best in the freaking world. You have Nikki Cross, R-Truth, what's up? Lindsay Dorado, and to wrap it up once again, Aleister Black. So that is the roster you get with WWE 2K Battlegrounds at launch. What do you guys think of it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Have you tried playing this game yet? Let me know. Leave a comment below. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more WWE 2K updates, including our WWE 2K Battlegrounds review coming up. Until then, please take care, like, and share. And until next time, as always, enjoy the games.